So I'm going to come down here. And you'll see that my fingers are stained orange. I was doing a lot of color correction this weekend and had a color tube explode on me. So I'm going to set her perimeter first. So on a perimeter, you know, a lot of us start out point cutting. I'll come in and point cut at the end. I love point cutting, but again, I'm doing the perimeter first. Once I establish the perimeter, then I can worry about point cutting and texturizing and everything. Now, you could do her sitting down, you could do her standing up. She has very long hair. So I'm going to pull it down just in sections. Again, I'm just setting the perimeter. So I'll go in and even it up when I go into texturize. The thinner your sections, the more even you'll have it from the get-go. We're doing layers on her. So, I mean, it's not a precision cut. I don't have to worry about that till I come in with the layering. Right now, I'm just establishing the length. And I'm not going to cut that front. I'll do that from the front. Okay. So I typically will take until right above the ears. This I will leave until I do the front. And I'm just going by her natural fall. So I'll come in here. Move this out. Again, I know there's some of you at home cringing, saying, why aren't you point cutting? I'll point cut when I do the layering. Point cutting now, then you're going to be coming in with each section and wondering why they're not even. Okay, so I've taken the majority of it off. I'm going to have her stand up. So, Lena, will you stand up for me, sweetheart? Okay, so we're going to go this way. I'm going to turn the chair, and I'm going to have her go ahead and she put her hands on the chair if she needs it. She's younger, so she probably doesn't, but her mom's an old lady, and so her mom may need that extra support, you know. She didn't bring her a walker today. So again, just coming in here. You'll see standing up, it's sort of like when she puts her head down. You can see. And we're just going to come in here and even that out. And our last thing to do is, why don't we go ahead and drop your head? Yep. So we can come in here, have her put her head down, and now you're going to see all the stray stuff on the perimeter that we just want to blend in.
wet or dry, do you normally have them put their head down?
Yes.
To check?
I'll do this for both because what's going to happen if you don't do this on a haircut, what happens when they do put their head down or their movement? I mean, people move. When you're a hot blonde and you do your little hair toss, I mean, people are going to see those. And so what you're just trying to do is blend the area between the two out. You can worry about the texturizing when we do her layers.
And do you think it's
And
important?
you want the natural fall. So make sure that you are combing the hair to the natural fall. Because if you comb like the middle over here, it's going to be uneven. Now you're going to ask a question, Cecia?
Yes. What kind of scissor is good for that one?
A sharp pair. A very sharp pair of shears. I use Benica shears. I love Benica shears. BenicaShears.com. The owner is Bonnie McGowan, the only female master shear sharpener in the world. With that, from the National Sharpening Guild. She designed the shears. They are amazing. And price, they are great price. If you need something even a little less expensive, Olivia Garden makes good shears. Or decent shears, you know, for a stylist starting out. But Benica is what I would suggest everybody invest in. What I suggest that you stay away from are blowing money on something like Hanzo's, which are overrated and overpriced. So I've gone ahead, you just take a step back, I'm gonna turn this around, sit down. So I've set her perimeter in the back. Now I can go ahead and worry about any layering or texturizing after I've done her actual layers. So I'm going to come up here. It's hard being a beautiful blonde. I've never actually been one, but she tells me all the time how hard it is. So I'm going to come up here. And I know that she throws her hair back. So we're going to set where the shortest layer is going to be. So I know if I cut right here, that's going to be the shortest layer in the back, right? So I can go ahead.
And that's part of the reason why you didn't do anything with the front yet. because
Correct.
you wanted that.
So I am just doing a basic long layer cut on her. I'm going to go ahead and pull the center section out. I'm going to go straight 180 degrees, which is 90 degrees actually for this section. Come up in here. So you'll see that the shortest layer in the back for her is going to fall right there. So it's still a very long layer. Now, whereas that may have been 90 degrees since I'm at the top, it's still a 180 cut because I'm going to pull all the hair to 180 degrees. So I will pull up a section at a time, pull it lightly. I can see my guide. And I can just come right in there and cut that. Pull the next section. Pull it straight up. Again, remember, sensitive scope. Don't want to get beat up.
And what do you think is the difference in wet and dry hair?
With dry hair, I can see exactly how her hair is going to lay. So I know if I need to take more off, whereas wet hair, you don't always know how much they're going to shrink. I mean, how many times have you cut somebody's wet hair and when you dried it, it got a lot shorter? And it was shorter than they wanted it. It's also faster for me. you know, I can see what the finished product is going to look, especially for texturizing too, from the get-go. And I'm gonna do that with each section, still pulling that up. If it drops out, it's fine. It means it was never long enough anyways. I'm gonna pull that straight up to 180 degrees, and you'll see that I've already cut most of the hair here, so this section's done. Come up, so I'm gonna do it on the other side. Come over here, grab this section, pull it up. I can see my guide. Just a 180. You guys probably remember this cut from school. It was made popular in the 70s. Farrah Fawcett was probably the hottest blonde to wear this cut until Elena started wearing it. Now she's made it her own. So I'm able to cut her hair, layer it, and see how it lays all at the same time. And then my next step on her will be to put the treatment in her hair. So again, pull that up to 180. Now, if I wanted to, I'd come in here and start texturizing right now. I'll be honest with you and tell you that I tend to like to do it at the end, after I run a brush through it and check it. Especially because if I over texturize her hair, as fine as it is, I mean, it's very fine. She just has a lot of it. Her scalp is super tender, and she tends to get tangles then. And then she threatens to put me in a nursing home when I'm old, which is like next year to her. So now I'm going to come around the front. And I know that she likes that Ellie Mae Clampett face frame. You know, she likes the hair to go around her face to show off how cute she is. As an upcharge, you know. I charge extra for the kisses on my clients. Another add-on, if you have the money.
It's free for customer.
So she has a bit of a callus. You'll see I can't part her directly in the center. So again, you don't want to take the hair out of its natural fall. If you have to work with it like that, work with it like that. If I try to force it over here, what it's going to do is hang very unevenly. So I'm going to take a small triangle, and from the triangle, I can try to even it out a little bit. So you'll see me take this much from over here, along with that much from right here. Get just a little bit more. Now I can pull that triangle out. And that's my center. So I come in here. Again, follow that natural fall. Over. She wants to keep as much length as possible, so you'll see me come up here cutting to what I cut. Pull a little bit more over just to make sure that it all matches. Now, this becomes a stylistic choice. You'll see that there's a little bit of a corner in here. So what I'm going to want to do is come in here and just kind of smooth out that corner a little bit. Just slightly round it off. Don't cut the corner off. Just smooth it out a little. Make it just a little bit less noticeable. So double check it by coming in here, pulling it down. Again, cutting to my shortest layer. Do that again right here. Good. Do the same thing on this side. So this right here is my shortest portion of hair. Letting Facebook see that I have not been skipping leg day at the gym. Coming up in here. Cutting to that shortest layer. You'll see some people go down and try to slide. I think what happens there is you end up riveting the hair a little bit too much for some of your clients, and then they end up with a lot of breakage. So I would prefer a solid cut when possible. Slide cutting has its use, but not on very fine hair. So again, we're going to come in here. I'm going to double check what I just cut, just making sure it's kind of clean. On to that next section. If there's a gap, so you'll see she has a little gap right here, ignore it. You didn't cause it, it's just the hair is a little shorter there. Don't try to put some hair there that isn't there. We're following the natural pattern of growth, how the hair lays. I'm going to come in here again. There's a gap right here where she probably chews her hair, pulls on the ends. Nothing I can do about it. Don't cut into it. There's no reason to. Don't draw any attention to it. So what I'm going to do for her, just run a brush through it one time, see how it lays. What you have to be careful of, especially on your blondes and people with finer hair, is you know she pulls her hair up into a ponytail. So you can see the ponytail line, and what your goal is when you're texturizing is to kind of get rid of that line or minimize it. So you'll see with the layers that we just cut, it's hard to see where she has her ponytails. But come on, we've been doing this a while. If we actually look, we can see about right there. But the new layering, we took some of that out. So now I'm going to come up here again. You can't do a lot of layers in her hair or a lot of texturizing because she likes to do ponytails, she likes to do braids. She likes to put 2 pigtails in her hair, look all cute and adorable, and then go kill somebody on the soccer field. But what I can do is section out an even amount of hair on the 2 sides up here in the crown. I can go ahead and pull that up. And we should see a little bit of a corner in the very center. See that corner right there? So I can come up here, pull that up. First of all, I can round out any little extra stray hairs. Run my comb through it one more time. And I can add a little bit of texture in here. So what that's going to do is a little bit of invisible layering just in this section without having to cut into all of this. And so that gives her just a little bit more movement. Everybody kind of see that movement now? Any questions? Yes, ma'am.
You don't use the texturizers.
One more time.
You don't use the texturizers.
Yes, I have
for the
wonderful
color?
texturizing shears that I love. These are great, especially on a coarser haired client. She's a very fine haired client, so if I come in here with texturizing shears, I may make notches in her hair. If I come in here and I cut into the hair, like I can even pull it up even just a little bit more right here, because she's still not screaming at me yet, ow, which is the magic word that means stop right now, or I'm going to tell my mom. Even if I come up in here and I do a smaller section, you saw the last time I did it a little bit more, a little rounder. I can come up here and do the exact same thing again. And what I'm doing is I'm adding, again, any stray hairs, most of those are not even attached. I can come here and you see it's a little thicker right there. I can cut into that and notch it so it's about the same thickness all the way around. So that's perfectly texturized. See that movement? See the blend? Now, you could use texturizing shears if that's easier for you. My problem with texturizing shears is sometimes that's too orderly of a pattern. It can look artificial, especially if you cut like straight across. I usually will angle mine, but even then, I want to see the movement. Any questions about blend? Any problems? Anything on Facebook? Okay. So for me, I'm always going to tell my client to stand up for a second. Go ahead and stand up, sweetie. Flip your head over like you're in an Herbal Essence commercial. Ooh, ah, mess it up, shake it so I don't have to and get yelled at. Run your fingers through it. Now throw it all back. Beautiful. So this allows me to see that her layering looks good and is even, and then I can go ahead and even comb it all in the back one time. See what I mean? And we took off that inch. Okay, have a seat for me, sweetie. Okay.